Welcome inside the WB Mason Coaches Report. I'm Ryan Mayer, sitting alongside head coach Kristina Hernandez for the Hofstra Pride volleyball team. Coach, this past week you had 2 matches, one in New Jersey against NJIT, and then you opened up your conference slate here at home against Northeastern. Start with NJIT, a 5-set loss for you guys. Just generally, what did you see from your team in that match that just didn't allow them to get over the hump?
I think we were just kind of sloppy with, the things that we're really good at. Our serving was really inconsistent. I think we had 11 serving errors, and our serve receive was really sloppy with our outsides. And, I think we were just sloppy all the way around. We had a lot of net calls and ball handling errors. So it's just one of those games where we just had a lot of unforced errors. So definitely makes it a lot harder to stay in the match.
Well, and one player that did play pretty well for you in that match, Kelsey Wills, a career-high 21 kills, 17 digs. Pretty impressive performance coming in for the freshman. What did you see from her in that match that just allowed her to be so effective?
She started off a little bit slow, and then she kind of picked it up towards the end, and she took some really big swings. And I think offensively there wasn't a lot working for us, and she started putting some balls away, and it definitely helped us stay in the match. But when you watch her play, you don't really realize that she does those things until you look at the piece of paper, which is a good thing because right. I expect a lot more out of her, and she's, putting out 21 kills. So, I think she's going to keep doing that. She's pretty hard on herself, and she's pretty humble, and she never really thinks that she plays really well. So, if she can pump out 21 kills and not think that she does well, then, I'm excited to see what she continues to do.
Coach, so let's move forward to the CAA opener against the Northeastern Huskies, a team that you lost to last year. They come into the physical education building here at Hofstra. You make a comeback victory, win in 5 sets. What did you see from your team that allowed you to make that big comeback?
Our outsides were definitely kind of struggling in the first 2 sets. They weren't doing very much offensively, and they weren't really in the offense very much, and so kind of made it a little more difficult for us to do what we wanted to do. And our middles, we weren't blocking really well on the pins on the outside and the right side. So when the break was over, I think we just needed to clean it up and play with a lot more energy and kind of a sense of urgency, if you will. And and I think they did a good job of coming back and just kind of going into a different gear and really just shaking off the first 2 sets and getting after it after that. And I definitely Nikki and Kelsey picked up their game, and they started taking some good swings and really scoring, and our blocking on the pins really tightened up, and I think Nikki had 5 blocks, and those all came towards the end of the match, and Erica and Anissa definitely picked it up and helped us stay in it offensively. So I think all those things combined really helped us get back into the game.
Now, Coach, that's the first comeback from down 2 sets to nothing since September of 2008. How good is that for you to see in terms of the resiliency of this team, for you to be able to go down 2 sets to nothing and then make that sort of comeback to allow you to come back and win the match?
It's good. I think that it will be something that they can keep in the back of their minds, when we continue through conference, and help them if we do get down, the first set or the first 2 sets, that they're always going to know that they can come back and, that they can get a big win. And I think that having that so early on in conference play is hopefully going to help them with their confidence and really help them kind of try to finish out games or be able to come back, if we are down. Conference is pretty tough, and I see us being in a lot of situations like that where we're going to have to come back or, even just finish off strong. And so I think that was a really good win, and I know they felt really good about it, especially since we started off so shaky. But for them to be able to come back and do that, I don't even know if I was necessarily thinking that they would do that. So it was nice to see. I think we had a lot of momentum going into the 5th set, and I think once it got to 5-3, we had 2 really big blocks on the 4th and the 5th point, and I think there just kind of propelled them to what they were going to do when we went on a huge run, and we just had a lot of momentum. So I think it was really nice to see, and for them to be able to shake off the shaky start and really get after it.
Now, you spoke about your 2 middle blockers, Erica Cherry and Anissa Whitney. In that match, 12 kills for both of them, getting some good production out of the middle. What did you see in terms of them? Were they getting up on time? Were the sets just there, or was it the passing that allowed you to run that quick offense in the middle?
They did a lot off of defensive transition, and it was something that we worked on, all week to play Northeastern. We really wanted to be able to run the middle off of defense as much as we could, and I think they did a really good job of coming off the pins and being able to go in there and go, straight for ones and not being too complicated with it. And so they did a really good job of that. And Anissa, her slides are getting a lot more consistent now. They were a little shaky at the beginning of the year, so that's something that she's always been really good at, and we just needed to kind of clean that up a little bit with her. But they worked really hard coming off the pins and getting into the offense, off the defense, and that was something that we really needed them to do, and we'll need them to do again this weekend in order for us to really get in there offensively.
And Coach, also in that match, Kelsey Wills another 12 kills, Nikki Kinnear 9 kills. You had four players at that point, basically within double-digit kills. We've spoke about it before this season. Just how good is it that you're able to have those third and fourth and fifth options attacking to really give the opponent something to think about every time that you go up for an attack?
It's something that we talk about with them. We need to do that all the time. We need to be able to do that, especially if our outsides are struggling and they're not going to be such big numbers for us. We want to be able to spread our offense and have the middles and Taylor really pick up the slack, and us being able to do that is going to help us stay in a lot more games. It's really difficult to kind of depend on one player all the time, and I think that early on that's what made us really successful. And I'm happy to see us get back to that, just spreading the offense out and really getting everybody in there. And I think that's what's going to help us down the road and really help us be efficient. We don't want somebody to scout us and just worry about one person. We want we want to have a lot of things going on to make it a little more difficult to kind of watch us play.
Now, Coach, 7-0 start here at the Physical Education Building, the best start since 2004 at home for this team. There you go. Best start since 2004 at home for this team. Is that something that you're trying to tell your team every night before you go out in front of your home fans? Hey, we need to defend our home court and make sure we continue to win here and use that home court advantage?
Oh yeah, for sure. This is their home and their gym, and they definitely take a lot of pride in it. And we talked about it even before we got out there with Northeastern. And I think being home the first 3 conference matches and knowing that we have done so well at home is hopefully going to give us a little bit of advantage. That home court advantage. But they feel good playing in here, and if they feel good playing in here, then that's going to just help us win a little bit more. So. They think about it, all the time. They're happy to be 7-0 here, so.
All right, Coach. So 2 more matches coming up this coming weekend. On Friday, you have Towson University, and then you also have the University of Delaware on Sunday this week. What have you seen from both of those teams so far? Just looking at their tape from this season so far, what are you looking to do in terms of attacking them?
I think we've just got to spread the ball out with, both of those teams, especially with the middle and the right side. I think that's going to be really important for us. Offensively, Towson is pretty fast to the pins on the outside, so, we necessarily can't focus on slowing them down, just really kind of tweaking our defense a little bit so we can manage it and really play some balls off of it and be able to, do some stuff offensively off of the defense. I think that's going to be the big thing with Towson. They run pretty fast to the pin, so we necessarily can't stop them from doing that. We just want to, be able to manage it and control it a little bit. And Delaware, they've got a good outside and right side, so it's a lot of pin work and really working on our block and making sure that we're putting up some good blocks and not leaving a lot of holes and really kind of lining up with our hitters. So I think those are the things that we've got to focus on top of the just the details of serving and the passing and making sure we're doing what we need to do consistently.
All right, Coach, one final question for you. Hofstra goes to 3-0 in the CAA after this weekend. If they do what? What do you guys got to do? What do you guys got to do to win both matches this weekend?
I think that we have to do offensively what we did on Saturday. I think our outsides need to do their jobs, and our middles need to get in there, and we've got to really block well on the pins on both the outside and the right side. I think that's going to be really the key for us. And Taylor's got to get in there and do what she does offensively. And I think just the style, playing our style and really getting in there, but really spreading the ball out. I think that's going to be really the key for us to see what we can do.
All right, Coach Hernandez, thank you for joining me inside WNBA Coaches Report.